Hi Taurus, welcome to your reading. I have been reading for about 2 hours at this point, and it was raining earlier and it was mad cloudy, and now I get to Taurus and the sun wants to come out. So hopefully that is a positive omen for you guys. Just before we get into it, this is for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars, inner planets. If you're watching this as a Taurus Sun and it's not resonating with your spirit, child, I would suggest you watch the other videos for your other placements. Perhaps maybe your moon or your rising is what's going to resonate with you this month. So we are going to get started. And sorry if my table looks a little dirty. I got some incense burning, so you might see a little incense ash. But we are going to jump right into it and see what messages are meant for my Taurians this month, for the month of August. Right off the bat, we have the 10 of Wands. Some of you guys are taking up more burdens on your head than you can manage. Okay? Granted, God doesn't give people more than they can bear. If you're not religious, that's okay. This is not a religious channel, but it is a saying. Two cards out. We have the Death and the Lovers. This showed up for, ooh, the sun is really coming out. Ooh, look at that. Hold on one second. I had to adjust my blinds because the sun was really coming out and messing up the cards, honey. You couldn't see the cards. So back to the reading, sorry. I'm feeling like full of personality in August. I don't know what that's about, but it's here. So we have the Lovers and the Death card. This came out for my Geminis as well. I feel like this is in relation to a partnership, Taurus. I feel like you are doing a lot in efforts to get your partner to see that, you know, you really like them. With the Death card showing up to me, it's saying that this is something that you are trying to do because the relationship is ending or about to end. Too many cards there. So there's a lot of things that perhaps you weren't doing before the 5 of Wands. You guys have been, it's a lot of back and forth, arguing, probably just not seeing eye to eye on certain things. Perhaps your ex, because this is the thing, is like I feel like this is an ex or somebody who is about to be your ex, so we're just going to refer to them as ex for now. Okay, so I feel like your ex is really out here trying to like do their own thing and you are just not having it at all. Okay, you know, your ex wants to live their life a certain way, you're not really vibing with that. This caused you guys to have a lot of arguments. You just really can't see eye to eye on things, and it's finally come to a point in the relationship where it's just like, all right, deuces, and you are not really ready for it to end. We have the 7 of Pentacles. I feel like this card showed up for you guys in your last month's reading as well. You know that the relationship is ending, and you could have even played a part in the initiation of the relationship ending, but now that it's actually ending, like you're not ready to, you know, accept that. So now you're over here spreading yourself thin and willing to do a whole bunch of things in order to show your partner that you do care about them and that you have what it takes to be a lover. However, your partner is getting ready to go, and really the only reason that they're even still around is because you be doing little things that is keeping them on a string. Okay, the 7 of Swords speaks to, you know, deception and betrayal and things like that. So, you know, at some point, you know, your partner could have felt like you betrayed them, or they feel like at some point like that was just a complete brain fart. At some point your partner may feel like you have betrayed them. At some point you may have felt like your partner betrayed you. You feel like they weren't, you know, staying down, staying true. You feel like they weren't exactly who it is that you had met when you guys first met. And something like that can really cause rifts and cause issues in a relationship. Six of Swords. And it's like you're both you're both walking away from the relationship. Like you're both prepared to walk away from the relationship. I don't know if you guys can really see in this card, but there's rough waters that you are leaving behind to move towards smooth sailing. And I feel like the both of you are kind of tired of this constant back and forth, and you are ready to let go of what it is that you guys currently have, so that perhaps sometime in the future you can build something a little bit more stable and secure. It might be a conversation that you've had, and in knowing how you could be dealing, sorry, lots of things going on. You could be dealing with a earth sign, or you could be dealing with an air sign. Could be dealing with a Gemini. But sorry, I just kind of got a little bit off track there. But I feel like the both of you may have come to some sort of an arrangement or an agreement that, you know, we're going to kind of cool this for now, revisit this in the future. But you probably have some sort of like inkling in the back of your mind that, like, although you guys are leaving together, you guys are choosing to leave this together, at some point in time your partner is going to try to sneak away and go about their business. You feel like you guys are going to grow apart, and that's completely 100% possible, because the Seven of Swords has packed up their things and they're ready to go. But the only reason they're looking back is because there is something there pulling them back. Every time I see this card, always get Chingy pulling me back coming into my head, because it's hard to look forward when there's something that you have going on in the background. And the reason they're looking back is because you are here busting your ass trying to figure out ways to keep them around. So a lot of you might not even really have the funds like that, but you're buying bags to try to keep this person around. We know Taurus likes nice things. You feel like your partner likes nice things as well. So you're out here trying to buy things and do things, and you can't afford it. You're spreading yourself thin. You're tired. Maybe you're dealing with an Aquarius. Or you're doing all of these things in hope that you will get this person to stay around. Star card speaks to having hope, having faith. Having faith in the divine that things are going to work itself out. We have the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, you guys are spending money that you don't have. I know some people think like, you know, the pandemic is over and whatever, we're going back to normal. A lot of you have not been able to go back to your normal, or you have a lot of debt because during the pandemic there were costs that came up and you had to cover them, and now you're trying to play catch up on top of trying to please somebody who is supposed to be an ex. You could also be trying to like build some sort of security for yourself to prove to this person that you are stable. Because for some reason I'm hearing like unstable. It could have been something that they called you. It could be something that you feel it within yourself. What other messages? What other messages do we have for Taurus? Taurus, baby. Nine of Swords. So a lot of you are just super stressed. And it makes sense, because if you're trying to do like a million things, like you are a super hero person, like you're a Superman, Superwoman, super person, undoubtedly it's going to cause you stress. Another thing that could also be the cause of your stress is worrying about where your person is trying to go. Ooh. Taurus is telling me to be quiet. You spilled all of my cards on the floor and now I gotta pick them up. Taurus is like, baby, you reading me for filth. I don't mean to. I mean, I do, because sometimes you guys need to hear the real tea. You need to know what's goody. But back to the Nine of Swords. You're worried about where this person may potentially be going as well. That's something that's got you stressed. You may also be dealing with like other things in your own personal life. There may be family issues that are going on. The Ten of Cups. You're worried about your family, or maybe you guys had a family and you're worried about bringing that back together. Maybe you guys have kids. And that's potentially why it is that you are going as hard as you are, because there is something bigger at stake. That's what I'm hearing. Or you may be married. I mean, marriage, not to say that like just being in a relationship is not important, but you know, when you're married, you might want to work a little bit harder at trying to keep this union together, because you took vows, and that might be something that is important to you. I see 1111, make a wish, my loves. Two cards that came out is the High Priestess and the Six of Cups. A lot of you are dreaming for or longing for times for when things were better between the two of you, but I think subconsciously you already know that there is no going back. So the question is, why do you continue to prioritize this situation? Sorry y'all, my battery died and the wide scale looks a lot better. Anyways, what I was trying to say to you guys is, why do you continue to prioritize something that you know is just not gonna work? With the High Priestess showing up to me, it's saying that like you are aware that whatever it is that has taken place between you guys is presently at a space where it is unrepairable. No matter how much you try to give into the situation, or no matter how much work you put into this situation, at this present moment in time, it is just not repairable. So why continue to spread yourself thin? We have the Four of Wands. Some of you are doing it because, again, like I said, you're hoping that this person will see that you are willing to go through all of these hoops and jump through all these hoops and go to all of these extreme lengths to prove how much it is that you really care about them. But at this point in time, like, the words are just, it's not just words, because you're also doing action. But at this point in time, like, I think that you need to spend more time. You need to spend more time communicating. I think that's what's missing here. There's not a lot of communication. There's not a lot of positive communication anyway. We have the Nine of Swords, we have the Six of Swords, and we have the Seven of Swords. These are all sad and deceptive and stressed out versions of communication. Like, you may very well be communicating to your partner, you know, how you want things to work, but you are communicating it from a space where you are really emotionally effed up. Like, you're really going through it. Like, there's something that's going on inside of you that is just not, it's not well. You're not happy about something. And it's deeper than the fact that your relationship is not working. With the Six of Cups showing up, it could be some sort of like childhood sort of things that you're dealing with. Some sort of childhood, family type stuff that you're going through. And maybe that's why you're even having a difficult time communicating. I mean, things that you learn in your childhood really just shaped the way that you move forward into life and develop relationships with people. I'm getting the sense like, yeah, your partner knows you care, but like right now is just not the time. I think you need to let them do them, and you need You need to let them do them and you need to do you. Don't forget that you both came to this agreement that, you know what, hey, I guess it is in our best interest to kind of go our separate ways. Even though we're going our separate ways together, we're both agreeing that we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on. And even if this person does decide that they want to completely plug out of this situation, like, they have the right to do that. I was going to say Aries. They do have the right to do that, Taurus. Maybe you're dealing with an Aries, or you're dealing with a very strong-willed, strong-headed, strong-minded type of person. They have the right to leave situations that are no longer fulfilling them, just like you have the right to leave a situation that's no longer fulfilling you, okay? You can't hold on to people. And I feel like the more you try to put into this dying relationship, and I use the, like, it's not literally dying, but this phase of the relationship has died. It is done. There is nothing left for you to do. It is time for you to pack it up and go. And the more that you try to put into it, I think the more you're going to be driving this person away. Okay? We have the World card. You know, learn what you need to learn from this situation. And I think it's interesting that I decided to say that, you know, it's not done forever. Just this particular phase is done, because there is a lesson to be learned in this situation, okay, Taurus? And I feel like if you really want to be with this person and you really want to rekindle things, you really are going to have to look at what it is that transpired over the past X amount of months or years that you've been with this person. How did you get to the point where this person is completely okay with disengaging from this relationship and walking away from it? You know? Yeah, you're okay with it, but you're also the one that's going out of your way to do all of these extra things to still keep their attention, which means on some level, you still want this relationship. You still want this person. So why is this person like completely okay with walking away? Why are they okay with disengaging? I think that's something that you need to sit down and really look at and evaluate when dealing with things. Use your inner standing, use your inner wisdom to really dissect what has happened. Taurus, your energy is here on the World card, okay? Which is why it's up to you to really look into things. You really need to figure it out. If you want this person to come back to you, you are really gonna have to dig deep and figure out what's going on. The Hermit card. This is Virgo energy. You may be dealing with a Virgo, or you may be dealing with somebody who, again, has no problem like removing themselves from a situation. Okay, this person is probably also doing some introspective work as well. All right, Taurus. So the choice is yours. I feel like I also said this to you guys the last time as well. The choice is yours. And that might be what I title the video. The choice is yours. It's up to you how you want to move forward with this person. Do you want to continue to smother them and then they potentially never come back? Or do you want to allow for some space and allow for some time for you to think and for them to think, and then potentially meet back up in the middle and see where we can go from here? Okay? But one thing's for certain, that's going on underneath, it's done. It's a wrap. It's finito. Okay? Period. We're moving on to something else. And you have to be open to and receptive to moving on to something else. I know that may be something hard to hear, Taurus, because you're not really receptive to change like that. But change is coming. It is coming whether you like it or not, whether you are accepting of it or not. It's just whether or not you want to be with the times. That's it. I have some new oracle cards here, Taurus. This is Living with a Feather Heart, the 12 Ideals of Ma'at. in Daily Life. This is by Jennifer Sodini. And this is my first time using it. I mean, I've used it in the readings before this, and I'll be using it in the readings after this for August. But this is the first time you guys are seeing it. So I'm very excited to see what comes out for you guys. And with this deck, I just want to know, they're loud, aren't they? I just want to know, what messages do you have for Taurus? What does Taurus need to know? What does Taurus need to know? So Taurus, I don't know if you guys can see this, but it says, I listen to opposing opinions. Okay. So it does come with a book. But before I get into the book, I kind of want to talk about what I think of when I see, I listen to opposing opinions. I was just talking to you, Taurus, about needing to take the time to retreat, go within, and do self-reflection on what has transpired over the course of this relationship, okay? This relationship that you are trying to force to continue, okay? I feel like when I was talking about you having those moments in which there was constant back and forth, the reason there was so much constant back and forth is because, you know, there was communication, there was things being said and things being expressed, and you may not necessarily have been the most receptive to it. Okay, Taurus, don't try to act like you don't have a stigma for being stubborn. And is it really a stigma if it's the truth? That's one thing. Is it really stigma if it's the truth? Okay, Taurus, we know you're stubborn. We know you don't really like to listen to other people, and you feel like your opinion is the only one that matters and that you always have it right. But when you're dealing with people, it's not facts. Okay, it's not a matter of being right or wrong. It's about listening and understanding. So if somebody comes and tells you that, I know this says I listen to opposing opinions, but I'm not even really like thinking about opinion when it comes to you. I'm thinking that people come to you and express how they feel. This person has expressed to you how they feel, and you completely dismiss it and you completely ignore it because it doesn't fit in line with your personal narrative of how you see things. And because you are unwilling to listen, that is probably why this person is like, peace out, okay? So I know that if you have already done the introspective work and you've sat there and tried to figure out why things aren't working, and you've racked your brain and you have not come to that conclusion that you are the problem, then you haven't done the work properly. As a seed journeys towards the sun with the hope of becoming a budding flower, nature's revolutionary process comes from a series of transformation through contrast. This is an Egyptian proverb. For the benefit of the flowers, we water the thorns too. I really like that, actually. I like that. The metaphors hidden within nature can be applied to the story of human life. In order for growth to occur from darkness to light, we must find appreciation for disparity. Each evolutionary chapter is a part of our journey into being, and the pendulum of experience is what allows us to eventually become one with love. As we grow, contrast provides sage guidance. We learn about the cold by stepping out into the winter and realizing we need a jacket. When we listen to the forces that oppose our comfort zone instead of fighting them, we can seek wisdom through opposition by remembering this virtue. When opposition comes in the form of opinion, we may be tempted to react emotionally, but a strong flower lets her petals float in the wind and does not disrupt her appreciation of the sun's light. If opinion escalates to argument, the fastest way to diffuse chaos is to politely ask questions instead of quibbing over semantics. Choose inquiry over inflammation, appreciation over anger. The thorns are no less a part of the rose than its petals, and while they may poke you if you hold on too tight, if you can appreciate them for what they are, you can see the integral part the literal and metaphorical thorns of life play in the divine design of nature and the spiritually mature soul. This is perfect. I think this is exactly what you needed to hear, Taurus. And I think they said exactly what I was trying to say, but just a little bit better. Especially when it talks about if opinions escalate into arguments, the fastest way to diffuse is to politely ask questions instead of quibbling over semantics. I feel like that is also why there's been a lot of chaos, a lot of back and forth between you and your person, because when they say something, you were quick to defend, or you're quick to be defensive and to say, well, that's not what it is. And if that's how you were feeling, actually you use that word incorrectly. So if you're going to try to tell me about myself, at least know how to use the word in the correct context. Things like that is just never going to get you on the correct path, or on a path towards working on something with somebody who you really do care about. So I challenge you, Taurus, to listen to opposing opinions. Listen to what your person is saying. If they're saying they need a break, they need a break. If they're saying this is how you upset them, you apologize, you ask for forgiveness, and you let them know how much you care about them. And that that's not the intention. And that you are willing to put in the work necessary to make things copacetic between you. But you can't just say those things. You have to actually mean it. And that is why it is important for you guys to take this time away from the relationship to really work on yourself and figure out what exactly you are able to give to somebody. Okay? That was your reading, Taurus. I will see you in September.